Today's session, if you parked your rowboat outside and whatever force you believe is causing all this, if we'll talk over the thunder and we'll get all through it. So my name's Jim Lillig. As the sign says, I got a bunch of different roles that I play. I used to play in the online adult industry, started a little site called MrSkin.com. They keep asking me back to these things because they think I know something, so hopefully we'll all get something out of it. So without further ado, this is called Co-Opetition, Comparison Sites and Conversion. And really what we're going to learn today is about how to get competitive research, how to make your site sell better, and how to make some money in the process. So first thing you got to know is that co-opetition is online natural selection. If anybody knows what Darwin is, natural selection basically says, hey, the survival of the fittest. And if you run a website as a merchant or you're an affiliate of a merchant, you know you're going to want to have something that really converts better than anybody else. And how do you figure that out? Probably the easiest way is the way I'm going to show you is to use co-opetition, to use comparison sites to make sure that you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that is selling better than anybody else in your niche. Competitive markets lead innovation. Duh. I worked on the adult side. There were 4.2 million pornography sites in 2003. It's probably gone up a good 25–30% since then, but that's the only reliable number I could find online. It's a pretty competitive market. You've got thousands, hundreds of thousands of sites competing for the same eyeballs. And how do you go about making your site unique, making your site the place that people spend their dollars on? It's not as easy as one might think, and those of you who work in the competitive markets, I had the pleasure of working in the MP3 download help area, which we had 1 million paid subscribers and about, I don't know, 900 knockoff sites. So another competitive area. Competitive markets are always going to lead innovation. If you want to see what's going on at the front edges of online marketing, go look at what the competitive markets are doing, because they're the ones that are forced into innovation. They're the ones that are forced into making good choices based on what they see in the market. So if you're looking for online research, go to the competitive markets. Look at the I shouldn't say look at the adult industry, but you know, do some competitive surfing. Go see what they're doing. Study the process. It makes a difference because you'll learn from it. Conversion is the merchant's leverage point. Better conversion means you don't have to pay as much, okay? More conversion allows a lower commission payout level, and it also attracts super affiliates. Another big duh. Basically, if you convert really well, you don't have to pay as much, because per 100 visitors coming to your site, if your competition is converting 1 out of that 100 and you're converting 3, you don't need to pay as much. As an affiliate learns that, and as they start to see the program and as you start to get traction and get people talking about your program, that will come out. And you can actually show people the results, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Comparison sites, which is the last part of the speech, basically create shelf space in search engines. And everybody's been to a grocery store, I would imagine. Shelf space is really important to Procter & Gamble, Colgate-Palmolive, down the list of Fortune 500 companies. Why do you think, you know, Procter & Gamble has 19 different brands of soap? Why? Well, shelf space. Not everybody likes Lifebuoy. Not everybody likes Irish Spring. They do that so that they can create more shelf space, so they can create more sales from basically the same product. Soap is soap. It gets you clean, it makes you smell nice, and you're happy. But not everybody likes the same color packaging. Not everybody likes the same smell. Online, that translates into the right-hand side of Google, Yahoo, and MSN in the paid surf areas. The more spaces you can occupy, whether by yourself or through an affiliate link, is creating shelf space online. The more shelf space you have, the more chance you're going to have to make that sale. It's marketing 101. So that's really what I mean by shelf space. Co-opetition, I'm going to start. They came for a reason. It's based on bricks and mortar strategy of locating similar products and services in a central location. McDonald's and Burger King oftentimes locate right across the street from each other. Wendy's the same way. Matter of fact, Wendy's did it so well they didn't even have a land acquisition department. They just watched where other people went and looked for someplace down the street. Where the hungry people are. You know, co-opetition is basically trying to get people, if they've shown an interest in your niche or in your keyword, and they haven't bought from you, and 98% don't, you throwing up a competitor site on an exit pop or in the exit process will definitely give you a couple of advantages. Car dealerships do the same thing as McDonald's do. This is a Google map of a 1 mile strip near my house in Chicago that has 10 car dealerships within a 1 mile strip. It's where the car buyers are. It's like a mall. It's where the shoppers go. You know, you can't think that if you're a retail outlet that everybody who comes through the door is going to buy, but they put a store next to you, Hallmark, and then there's another card store down the way. They're going to buy cards. They just need to have some sort of way of having a place to do that in. And in co-opetition, if you do it correctly, you'll actually learn from your competition what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and how you can improve what you're doing. Users come to your site, 98% will leave without buying or taking an action. Now that's an average. Now there's probably sites in here that convert, 1 in 10, so they're 90% of the people are going to leave. It's still more than half. Is there anybody here that converts better than 90% of the people that come to their website? No? There you go. So I'm not trying to be flippant about it, but you paid to get them there. I mean, whether you did pay-per-click, SEO, banner ads, contextual, the whole gamut of internet marketing, at some point there was a cost associated with that person coming to your website. That cost associated with it, every time somebody walks out the door, increases your customer acquisition cost because you didn't convert them. They came for a reason. They came to fulfill a need. They clicked on a pay-per-click ad, whether it be MP3 help or whether it be lobsters or whether it be whatever your favorite keyword is, pick it. They came to your site for a reason. It's like looking at that shelf in the grocery store and trying to figure out what soap you want. Do I like Lifebuoy? Do I like Irish Spring? I don't know, but I like to have choices. What you're doing is identifying a need by having them click on your keyword, being able to convert that person. Even the best ones only convert a couple of percentage points out of the total visitors. So they came for a reason. You may not fulfill that reason, but you're never going to be everything to everybody. But you can learn how your competition is being that person to everybody. They're not converting 100% of the people that come to their site. They're only converting 2% like you. But they might be converting a different 2% than you're converting, and you may not be seeing what they're doing and incorporating it into your sales strategy to reduce the barriers to sales. Co-opetition allows you to discover what the majority are coming to your site for. It may not be what you intended. Many times I work with clients and basically they'll say, well, I got a lot of traffic to my site, but nobody buys from me. Well, maybe you're not giving them what they want. Maybe you're misleading with a keyword. Maybe unintentionally, you're not thinking about the process of what they're going through far enough down the line. And sometimes your competition has already done the work for you. You're going to learn from them. Co-opetition is defined as the last resort in trying to monetize a customer. I'm not saying immediately run to your competition and turn over all your traffic to them, although there are sites that probably should do that and they probably make more money. Exhaust every possible way to monetize the customer or remarket to the customer. Make a sale. Add items to a wish list. That's a great way to get people in there. They're not buying, but they're adding to a wish list, and for them to get access to that wish list, you force them into an email squeeze. Newsletter registrations. Newsletter registrations are great if you can get them to do. People are pretty much done to death with newsletters unless you got some really breakthrough content. You're going to have a hard time pushing a newsletter registration. Co-registration path for partner sites. It's another share data. They get data, you get data, and maybe they have what your visitor's looking for. You never know. So co-reg is another good way to try and get that person back or get that email address from them. On-site survey. Everybody loves to take surveys and everybody loves to see the results of those surveys. So that's another way that you can try and convert somebody back into being a buyer from your site. Give them a free download. Unlock it with an email address. If you can give away an ebook or any way that you might be able to get them back with some information that might be relevant to their experience or might be relevant to the keyword or the SEO site that they came from that gives you an idea what they were looking for. They came for a reason. And without identifying that reason, you're missing out on sales. Like I said, sometimes your competition does it better than you do, sometimes you do it better than your competition. But if you take to heart what I'm going to show you here, you're probably going to be ahead of your competition because you'll know why they're converting on your competition site. Free membership. Hey, people love to be members. They love to be subscribers, and especially free, as long as they feel that there's some benefit that's coming out of it. And that's really just, once again, just trying to convert that visitor, no matter what you do. I sell lobsters. We try to opt people into an email club. We try to give them a free download of a PDF cooking manual and recipe guide. Anything I can do to keep that customer on my site longer is going to be better for conversions. And if I can get their email address and their name and maybe some demographic information, age, income, whatever else, how many times they buy lobster, or do they like crab over lobster or lobster tail, anything I can do to get a competitive advantage, I do. So that's keeping them, okay? And that's probably a whole nother session as far as that. What I'm more interested in is talking about co-opetition. So you've exhausted every possibility, every single possibility in the book, and you're just going to let them walk out the door. You paid for them to come there. You paid for them to come to the party. They drank the wine. They danced. They had a great time, but you didn't get kissed. Seems kind of like a bad strategy to me. So affiliate programs, co-opetition is really paid competitive research if it's done correctly. I mean, let's think about what we're doing. Affiliate programs give you an incentive to find out who converts the best in a head-to-head competition. If you're got a good technical person, and most of you do, running exit pops in succession, that is, in a definite succession, this is completely taken from the adult online. Why, when you go to an adult site, do they pop up 14 pop-ups instead of 15, or 13, or 12, or 8, or 9, or 11? Because 13 works, 14 works for that site, because they know the numbers. The first thing I said in this was competitive markets create innovation. If there isn't a more competitive market than sex online, I don't know what there is, okay? And the reason that they do what they do is not by chance or hunch. It's by research and by measurement. And what they do is very systematic. They will take 14 pop-ups and they will switch the order of those pop-ups one after another and track which number it was. This is number 1, this is number 2, and they'll watch it over, say, 10,000 visitors. And they watch who signs up and who doesn't sign up and where in the process they sign up and which one did they actually get out of the pop-up process. This is something that's not done a whole lot anymore, but it was very, 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 very successful for the sites that did it. Pop-ups have obviously become blocked by browsers and what have you as far as that. So there's a number of things that go wrong with that. But if you conserve them, and there's plenty of technology out there to break the browser's hold on getting a pop-up served, you know, you owe it to yourself to really do this type of research. Merchants / advertisers need to understand who converts better than they do to stay on top. Hey, if I know that one of my competitors is converting better than I am, I'm going to pull his site apart and figure out in the process where I'm not doing what he's doing and try and figure out what I can do to make my site not more like my competitors, but better in the process of converting people like they do. And that goes back to, you know, do you like Lifebuoy or do you like, you know, Irish Spring? Affiliates will conduct their own research with your program and others to make their own decisions. What I'm telling you here is if you're an affiliate, you already know this, or you haven't quantified it to this level. But really, if you run multiple different affiliate programs in the same niche, you figure out who sells better to your audience or to the traffic that you're driving. Merchants, on the other hand, very few ever do this type of research. The ones that do are the ones that convert way better than the rest of their competition, and those are the ones that get the super affiliates. Those are the ones that make the bigger bucks, and the ones that keep affiliates, and the ones that have active affiliates instead of passive affiliates. How do you do it? They came for a reason, and place a competitor's advertisement in your visitor's exit path. You join your competitor's programs and you monetize the exit traffic with an affiliate link. Pretty simple. Everybody in this room should pretty much understand that. Rotate the order in which exit pops are served to randomize results and determine the best seller. If you don't randomize it, you won't know You can run an ad for 2 days and then run another ad for 2 days and run another ad for 2 days. But the problem with that is sometimes your traffic will trend based on the days of the week. If you don't have that situation, like I know on our site, Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, we get about 40% less traffic than we do during the week. So if I'm running an Co-Opetition exit experiment, I'm going to just settle down into, okay, Monday through Wednesday, I'm running this experiment. I'm going to do it for 4 weeks. I'm going to run 4 different competitors to my program, and I'm only going to run it Monday through Wednesday, okay? And really, and you can also, if you got the technical chops, to do it on a time-limited basis as far as that's too. Maybe only between the hours of 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. But standardize it across your whole research. That way you're going to get really good, solid results, and you're going to know across the traffic. And don't mess with your traffic sources too much during that time, because you don't want to try and skew your results. And that's what will happen. Look at the conversion results and analyze what works and what doesn't. I mean, this isn't rocket science. I mean, literally what you're going to do is look at how those sites are going to fulfill for you. In the meantime, you're still making money. You're making money off the people who left your site. You paid to get them there. They came for a reason. Now you got a little bit of competitive research because you know which sites even, are converting better than yours when they get into their process. I wouldn't suggest signing up as an affiliate of your biggest competitor as yourself. That generally gets you pretty well noticed. It just sends a red flag up unless the affiliate manager is not real smart. Basically what I would say is, go get yourself a nice little Nevada company or some other entity that you can trust and sign up under that. GoDaddy's a great place for that. Nobody knows who you are. You can register a URL for $5. You can have it hosted, and your webmaster can throw up a website in no time as far as that. So, you got it. Most affiliate managers will not accept a program if you have no website. I don't. If I see somebody who doesn't have a website, I just decline them. And it's up to them to write me back and say, oh, no, I have a giant mailing list, and I do all this other stuff. Show me who you are, So they're going to want to know who you are. So you might have to do a little bit of, shielding yourself or cloaking yourself, and I hate to use that term in this environment. It's probably not the best one. But you want to cloak yourself a little bit from identity, because if they see who you are, there's a lot of things that can go on the back end of a website. Mostly they're just going to turn you off. I do. So I don't really like my competitors playing in my pool. So if I see them come into the program, I just turn them off, and let their links come to me, but I turn them off. So one way or the other. I'm not very nice. Adopt the best practices to remove any unnecessary barriers to sales. That's, if you don't want to take a hard look at your website and think that your competitors know something that you don't, you might as well stand up and leave the room, because they do, and you can learn from them. They've spent the money. You spent the money. They're probably learning from you as you're learning from them. GM and Ford and Toyota, they all look at what other models they make, and then they base their models based on what the competition has. They price their models. If you look at competitive pricing across there, why does Kia put its price $2,000 less per car than, say, a GM or a Toyota is $2,000 more? They know where their market is. They know who's buying the cars, but they also know where their competition's at. And when you go on a sales floor in a car dealership, the salesman knows exactly how much that other car costs. His job is to make you think that there's enough value in the car that you're buying that it's worth that extra money. You'll increase conversions. That's kind of another duh statement. I mean, if you know how the process works and you analyze it and you work towards making that your goal, you will increase conversions. You'll increase the knowledge of market factors that affect the decision to buy. It's the number one reason people don't buy is you don't know what they want. Decrease the cost of testing hunches. Now you know what works. I'll tell you what, in the adult industry, there is no such thing as a hunch. You can't. You'll go out of business. A member stays in the adult industry for about 1.2 months. They pay out $80 on a $40 subscription. It's a house of cards. You can't test hunches. You got to go with numbers. Always make decisions based on numbers. Test if you can. Break out the things that make sense, that are going to do better for you. And your decision is going to be based on numbers. If you're making decisions based on, boy, I think this will work, you must have a lot of money in the bank, because I don't. And I'll tell you what, I don't make decisions on hunches. I just want to know for a fact what works and what doesn't. You make decisions on hunches, it's like, you know, here, I got $10,000 in pay-per-click. I think this will work. Well, your $10,000 gone. And you don't have nearly the sales you need to support that. Hunches don't work. I mean, it's the online world. We can measure everything, and you should. Conversion, the only factor to focus on. If you're a merchant, that's all you really care about. I mean, I'm going to have a lot of flack from big brands that branding is important, and I heard Performance talking about multi-channel brand management, which is it is important as far as that, and a lot of different factors. I mean, I do TV ads, I do radio ads. You know, I know that goes all into the mix, and they're being bombarded from different areas all over the place to get that content or that brand in front of that person, so that when it comes time for them to think about, say in my case, lobster, they're going to think LobsterGram, okay? That's why I advertise on television and radio, okay? But online, I take a much more targeted approach. I don't buy CPM advice because, you know, if you've ever looked at the click-through rates on a banner ad, they're not all that great. So I don't think I'm telling anybody here anything new. So basically, I made this neat little chart, and I don't know, I'm terrible with charts, but the higher the conversions, the lower the commission payout. The higher the commission payout, the lower the conversion rate, the higher the commission you're going to have to pay out. Because per 100 visitors, if you convert 1 out of 100 and your competition converts 3 out of 100, it doesn't take a super affiliate real long or be super smart to figure out that I want to be promoting the one that converts 3 in 100, and even though I'm getting $8 a sale instead of $10 a sale, I'm still $14 ahead at the end of 100 visitors. That's a very easy inverse ratio to understand. And merchants don't really do that. They just figure, I got to be competitive. You know, if you convert better, you can show them the results of converting better. And smart affiliates they don't get that from most merchants. They just don't get it. You tell them I convert, you know, show them the results of your testing. One of the greatest things that I ever saw, and I'm sure there's a few people here who do it, they put up the big giant check. You know, seen the big giant check in long forms, sales forms. They put the check. I earned, you know, so much. Rosalind Gardner's here, she'll say, $477,000 in a year, what have you. It works. You have to show them the results. And then tell them why I'm going to pay $8. And the nice thing is, if you're starting off low, you can incrementally bring them up to $10, and then they get more motivated. So better conversion, which is the only thing that matters, it is your leverage point. You don't have many as a merchant because, hey, I hate to tell you, there's a lot of CPA, there's a lot of affiliate networks out there. They'll just jump over to your competitor. They'll switch the links, test you out. And if you don't test as well as your competitor, guess who they're going to stay with? Not you. So conversion's really the big thing. The goal of co-opetition strategy and comparison sites is to increase your knowledge of your niche's true factors to converting visitors into customers. Measure everything. I think I said it a million times. I'll say it again. Measure everything. It's a pain in the butt. Yeah, it is. But it's worth it because in the long run, you actually know why you made that decision. Make regular reviews standard. I don't know how many webmasters I talked to that, oh yeah, we made a change about 1.5 years ago, and boy, it's working great. Well, don't you think your competition picked up on it and they're using the same thing too? Always check. Do the reviews quarterly, semi-annually, annually if you don't have the budget to do it. Open additional websites and act as an affiliate would. The easiest thing in the world to do. If you're a brand and you've got a database, and this is stolen directly from the online adult. An online adult, they might have a database for, let's say, lack of a better term, BDSM. I don't even know what it stands for, but it's bondage, something. Anyways, they have a database of pictures and videos. It's just a big pile of pictures and video, okay? Well, all around, they got one site, BDSM Now, BDSM Today, BDSM Yesterday, BDSM for you, BDSM for her, BDSM for him, and it all goes back to that same database. Why do they create those front ends? It's called shelf space. The more times you have the chance to put a different picture on the front page, a different color, a different text, and you're competing with yourself. Why would you want to do that? Well, because not everybody likes Lifebuoy. You got to have different soap in the product. So big brands hate when I say that because they're like, oh, I've invested so much in my brand. Well, you know, I'm here to tell you, branding online is a one-click away proposition. You know, they can Google anything. They can Google anything, and they're going to Google your competition. And if they got a better picture, and they got blue on their site, or they got green on their site, and I'm a green activated person, I'm going to go for the green. And if I'm a red activated person, I'm going to go for the red. Given the choice of two similar products, you have to be doing these techniques if you really want to get ahead. So if you own a merchant site and you're not competing with yourself with additional sites, you're losing money, and you're losing shelf space. And shelf space is really what it's all about online. Because the more shelf space you have, and you give affiliates more chance to make a sale. In adult, I mean, there are some providers, we'll call them, who have 50 different sites in their, CEN caches for one. They have 50 sites, 10 Asian sites, 10 BDSM sites, 10 schoolgirl sites, you name it. Why do they have 10 sites? Because different color, different face, different look, it all appeals. They're selling fantasy. They're selling fantasy. And, you know, what works for one guy, I might be into, you know, tall, leggy blondes. Another guy might be into short, you know, whatever, brunettes. It's all choice. It's no different in the mainstream. They're all looking at the same thing. Cars, different colors, different makes, different models. It's just choice. If you're not giving them that choice and you're just going with your one brand and your one site, that strategy is not going to get you very far online. Might got you up to this point, but you really want to explode your sales, compete against yourself. Open up affiliate programs that go against yourself. And guess what? You find out what people want. More than you'll ever know as far as that. Budget for research. If you don't have a budget for research, get one. Because, you know, you got to measure everything and you got to test everything. And you're not making decisions based on hunches if you have research to do it. I'm not talking about buying $200,000 research reports or what have you. You can do it on your own site. You can do it on your own site. And if you're not doing it, somebody else will, and then they'll be the ones with the better conversion. And then they'll be the ones getting the super affiliates to play with them. Comparison sites. This is the last part of this, and I'm going to use one example. This is creditcardcritic.com. He compares the 4 top credit card offers: Citibank, Discover, Visa, or MasterCard, and another Orchard Bank MasterCard. Comparison sites are another great way for you. If you take the strategy I just said, open up your own cadre of sites, well, then you open up a comparison site and you compare your own sites. It sounds kind of simple, doesn't it? This is one of my ex-affiliates at MP3 Download HQ on the networks that we ran. This is just a sampling of what's on his server. That's only 26 of them. He's got 10 servers, each of them loaded with probably 40 sites each. All of them, critic, guide, any possible niche he could find, he follows the same exact thing on every site. I disagree with that, but the guy makes a lot of money. A lot of money. And all he does is he goes, finds the top affiliate programs for whatever niche he's going, and he just does the comparison site. I put the long form, it's kind of hard to see up on the screen, but that's what it looks like from top to bottom. I'll go through it piece by piece by piece, and I'll tell you why he does everything on that site. Once you find a formula, open other sites based on the same template. I mean, you paid for the template, just plug in the new programs. You know, especially if you're your own merchant. One of the beautiful things about this is, and I talk about shelf space, if you're sending a pay-per-click click to a single site, you got a one-to-one relationship to make that sale. But if you're sending it to a comparison site where you own 4 other sites that are in the comparison, now you got what? 4 times better chances of making a sale. So if I'm spending $1.25, or like we used to spend an MP3, $4 or $5 a click, I'm going to make sure that $4 or $5 a click has got a fighting chance to make me some money. And that's really what this is all about. This is what this strategy is all about. So, know how you rate. One of the nicest things is if you open up your own and put your other 3 competitors in there, This tells you exactly how well you rank against your competitors. And switch it up. Put yourself in the first position, then put yourself in the second position, put yourself in the third, then put yourself in the fourth, and see how well, measure that, keep track of it in an Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to find out exactly how well you rank against your competition. It works. This has been done time and time again in the online adult space, and it works like magic. Because, like I said, competitive industries, competitive markets always lead to innovation. And you watch the leading edge, and you'll learn a lot from what they do. So this guy, he goes with a descriptive halo URL. If you don't know what a halo URL is, and it's a term that I use, I don't think anybody else does, but it basically gives you a wide reach to an audience. And I'm going to give you a little secret here, worth the price of admission. .org, just buy them. Because when you use them in pay-per-click and you put it down in the Google where it says the URL, in a competitive market, most everybody on pay-per-click is using pretty much the same headline. They're using pretty much the same text, and the only thing that differentiates you is the display URL. Now, people have been conditioned to believe that .org is going to give them some good information, and they're not going to be sold. It's a little trick, but you use it, and it will work. Descriptive halo URL, make sure it's like MP3 download critic, okay, or credit card critic, or credit cards reviewed, anything like that. .org. If you see .com, you think, oh, I might get slammed for an offer. But if I see .org, I'm going to expect to get good information, comparative information, and give that to them. Don't hit them with the offer right up front. Tell them what you're doing. This guy uses a facade of due diligence. The top 4 MP3 download sites. There's 900 sites that do this. He's rotated probably the top 100 through here. So, top 4 is a relative term. As I like to say, it's the facade of due diligence. Yeah, I'm doing the work for you. You don't have to do any work. Don't do any more Google searches. I've already done it for you. Comparison options. Compare side by side, compare individually. Give people the facade of choice. It's your walled garden, and they come and step into it. If you don't give them enough choice, they will leave because they don't feel like they have the ability to do good due diligence on the site. So give them as many choices as you can, but don't ever let a link go unmonetized. Don't be linking off to some research site or what have you. Keep it all on your site. Never let them leave. Never let them click on something that doesn't make you money. I mean, it's really hard to lose money on a website if every link on it makes you money. I don't know. I learned that a long time ago. Something that's worked for me. Comparison options, Google ads. Well, you might say, well, why do you put Google ads on? Well, number one, you're going to make some extra money from the people who are going to leave. So, once again, don't put anything on there that doesn't make you money. Also, Google ads, AdSense does help you define what people are coming to your site for. Over time, it will tell you more or less why people are there. And it may not be what you think. They come from different keywords. It depends on where you're getting your traffic from. In the second section of the long form site, he uses an auto date display. We've all heard it, but very few people actually do it. Auto dates are perfect. It gives once again the facade of being updated on a regular basis. Comparative statement of niche search. What's the best online MP3 download site for me? And you know what? If you tie that statement there to the keyword that they clicked on in pay-per-click, your conversions will go up much higher. Consistency from pay-per-click through to the site, through to the sales process makes all the difference in the world. And I know that because we used to spend $500,000 in search pay-per-click a month at MP3. And every time somebody clicked on a term, MP3 help, the words MP3 help showed up on the top of the next page they clicked through to. And no matter what keyword was on the right, they went to a page where that keyword was displayed prominently. It makes a giant difference. If you're doing pay-per-click and you're sending to a generic page, why don't you just write Google a check and forget about having to do the admin, because that's all you're doing. Your conversions will go way up when you carry the keyword throughout the process. Addresses the user by their interest. Dear music enthusiast, not, hey visitor. Help them understand that, hey, yeah, I was interested in music and MP3s. I am a music enthusiast. So this guy's speaking my language. I'm going to read on. More Google ads. Builds trust with giving text giving the impression that the results are impartial. This guy actually does something that I like a lot. He does an audio file for each one of his competitive sites. So he goes on and he starts telling you, this one is great because this, and you can link to the audio files up on one of the links in there. But he basically says, how does this website work? He kind of explains himself, gives them, once again, the facade of legitimacy. And that's what you really want to do. You want people to think that they're getting good research. Uses the top 4 sites in the niche to compare. MP3 download websites compared. So he puts a little screenshot of K-Lite and My Music Inc. and best way to download music online and MP3 something. Like I said, he's probably run 80 or 90 through there and watch what the best ones are. The top 4. He rotates the positions and records the results over time. If you're doing this as a merchant yourself and you're doing it with your other 3 competitors as the comparison site in there, you're going to want to really track that. And you're going to want to find out what position you sell best in. So if you're rated the last and you're number 4 position, but you sell better than the rest, you should stand up and give yourself a big old pat on the back because you're actually doing better than your competition. But if you're in number 1 position and the number 3 position consistently sells more, you got some work to do. Uses made up subjective categories for comparisons. Well, let's see. Size of service, quality of files, range of music, easy to use, client satisfaction. How the heck would that guy know what the client satisfaction is? Has he called up the users of these sites? I guarantee not. I guarantee not. All he's trying to do is give the user some idea that basically you're going to, get good information, and he's looking for any category that pokes at that person to say, oh, okay, well now, client satisfaction, I'm going to go with the 4-star one. It's just the facade. User uses features and benefits because everybody understands features and benefits, so it's easy to go. Looks at sites and compares the common elements, unlimited access, legal warning, whatever that is, when you're downloading pirated MP3s. It's insane. Download extras. What are download extras? I always wanted to know that. Technical support. Yeah, all these sites provide great technical support. That is Kazaa, Morpheus, LimeWire. You ever tried to contact technical support from them? Yeah, it doesn't exist. Macintosh compatible. That's really important. Accepts all major credit cards. That's another big important thing as far as any little difference he can find, he's going to exploit it and put it there because it makes the form longer. And in people's minds, again with the .org, longer is better. They must have done the research because it's giant. Why do long page sales formats work? Why? Because good copy, when you write good copy, you get to the end of it and you go, God, I am so stupid for not buying. I feel like I have just missed the boat completely. And when you get to the bottom of a sales page and you feel like that, you know you've read good copy. They may have tried to sell you a boat with a hole in it, but it's the greatest boat with a hole in it you ever found. It sinks like no other boat. It'll take you to the bottom of the ocean faster than anybody else. Stupid things like that, but long-form sales pages work. The guy's Yannick Silver, he's built an empire out of it. The guy's a millionaire by writing long-form sales pages, putting giant checks up there. I earned, testimonials, what have you. So, I mean, I've seen sites here where they'll actually go and hike pictures off of MySpace, put them next to there, and they'll put a BS endorsement up there, and people buy all day because they think they're real people. I'm Sherry S. from Tacoma, Washington, and I love my MP3 downloads. Who cares? Does Sherry live in my neighborhood? Can she come over to my house and tell me that? No, and there's no link out to, who's Sherry's email, what have you. It'd be great if you could create a virtual robot that was like, every endorsement you ever had as like a robot email as far as, yeah, I loved it. Write me emails all the time. No problem. I'll send you spam. So little things. Also finds additional categories for comparison. Types of music, files available. The music downloads, new golden oldies, movie oldies. He's just searching for whatever he can find to make the page look better. And I suggest that you do the same with your own sites, although, if you're a legitimate merchant, and I'm not saying this guy isn't a legitimate merchant, but I worked in this space, and there are no legitimate sites out there. They sell it's air. They sell air. So this is a good example of a guy selling air. because there's nothing to those sites. I mean, you could find everything in those sites online somewhere. It's just he aggregated them in one place. It's one, again, ease of use. Makes a final rating with links to more details. Here's my final rating. I've added up all the points. I've got this algorithm that goes through these sites, and it makes this grand thing, and I'm playing Google for you. That's what he's doing. He's playing Google for you. And if you can play Google for your visitors, oh, all the better, because they ain't going to go to Google and find your competition if you can convince them off of something like this. This is the more details page. It reiterates the points made from the main comparison page, also identifies as the #1 pick from the sites compared. Switch this out. He just switches up #1 top pick, #2 top pick, #3 top pick, and rotates the sites through it. Not real genius going on here, folks. It's not that hard to do, and you make a lot more money doing it. Gives a final conclusion. Oh my God, my conclusion, and guess what? Every week it's a different conclusion. You know, hey, I love My Music Inc. I like MP3 downloads. I like this, you know, whatever works. And you know what? Over time he finds out the one that sells the best, and that's the one he puts as his final conclusion. Actually, I want to show you something on that one. He actually puts his name. Now, if you think James Wilson is a real person and owns this website, I can tell you for sure his name is not James Wilson. He's actually over in Czechoslovakia, and they don't have a lot of, you know, James Wilsons over in Czechoslovakia. So, the veil of legitimacy. You notice there's no email address. There's no way to contact this guy to find out, you know, are your results there? People online, and I'm not going to say they're stupid, but I will give you a statistic. People type in google.com into google.com over 100,000 times a day. They do. If you look at the keyword searches, google.com comes up in Google a lot. They don't even realize they're on Google. And they do it again and again and again, expecting different results, which is, of course, the definition of insanity. So, anyway, summary. We'll wrap it up here. I got 15 minutes left. Take some questions. Conversion is the goal of co-opetition and comparison sites. Literally, you're going to know you convert better than your competition. And if you don't know you convert better than your competition, I say to all the merchants in the building, run on out, make sure that you make it an objective over the next 4 or 5 months, because you know you owe it to yourself to do that. Increasing conversion lowers costs by reducing customer acquisition costs. If you increase your conversion, you're going to make more money. The traffic that comes to your website is going to be more valuable, so it's going to decrease your customer acquisition costs. It's just a simple inversion. Increased conversion also allows merchants to pay lower commissions on sales. So if you have an affiliate program and you can increase your conversions and you can show that affiliate or that super affiliate, hey, I did the research. I can show you I'll open it up to you and show you what I did. Believe me, they're gonna flock to you, because smart affiliates, they don't want to be, lack of a better word, BS'd. And the minute you do that to them, they won't trust you. They won't trust you. If you've exhausted every means of converting your site's visitors, displaying your competitors' sites can give you additional income and, of course, valuable insights to increasing conversions. And comparison sites decrease your costs. They increase pay-per-click campaign and organic search engine effectiveness by increasing your conversion percentage on keyword bids and optimization. Simply put, it's that same formula. If I'm clicking to a one-to-one relationship, that is, I'm LobsterGram and I bid on LobsterGram, and I send them to the front page of my site, I got a 1-in-1 chance to make that sale. You know, the odds aren't that great. If I send them to lobster-gifts.com, which is the one I'm developing to put this theory to the test on my own site, basically I'm going to have more than one chance of selling that customer, whether it comes from an affiliate or it comes from my own site. And remember something about affiliate sales too. I mean, co-opetition and exit strategy stuff. You will actually realize more revenue. And I can tell you from Mr. Skin, when I ran that site, we ran over 400 different affiliate programs and exit pops and banners and the whole 9 yards. The reason we ran that many, and we found out through pretty quickly, and it was just my stubbornness to believe it, is all they wanted was celebrities. Nude celebrities, it turns out. That's all they cared about. and we would actually make straight money, better money marginally on the margins from our competition. They would pay us $40, $80 a sale. And then these people would come back 2-3 months later after they quit that and join us anyways. So now I made $80 off the guy. He comes back, he's going to join my program and stay for 6 months. So I made double. It's even better. You know, come on back, go. You know, I'd send them off to other sites just to see how crappy they were. Yeah, go ahead, terrible. Go ahead, join up. I'm going to make money off you. I mean, if Burger King knew that if you drove through the drive-thru and you decide, you know what, I really like McDonald's better, wouldn't they? And they could get $1 off of every burger they sold at McDonald's. Don't you think they'd get a Cadillac out there, drive you across the street to the drive-thru, and give you the, you know, here, make the sale? Because there's no cost involved with affiliate. It goes straight to your bottom line. So it covers the cost of your research. It covers the cost of basically learning how to be a better site. And it covers the cost of your pay-per-click better because you're giving yourself a much greater chance of making a sale. So that's pretty much it. If there's any questions, let me know. Oh, I must have done a good job. Nobody has any questions on it? Everybody believes everything I said? Yeah, there you go, one. Hugh?
I remember last time you spoke at the affiliate boot camp in Vegas.
Yeah.
And you gave us some cool tools to use online. Do you have any for this kind of thing, for tracking stuff or anything affordable?
Nope. It's all build your own. There really isn't anything out there that I'm aware of, and like I said, I'm not an authority on online tools, but I've always built it in-house because I don't want anybody else knowing what I know, and especially when it comes to my own brand. So this is not all that hard to build. I mean, it's just a template. You shove your affiliate programs in it, and you write some copy, and see what flies. You know? Mm-hmm.
What if you know your competitor, you've got a competitor, and their site is far superior to yours?
Okay.
It's much better. Should you still send them there, even if their customer retention is probably much better than yours too?
Did you sell them anything?
No.
Did you get their email address?
No. Well,
okay.
No.
All right. So, in essence, they came to the party and they left, and you're never going to see them again, are you?
Well, they're just researching. Maybe I'll buy it later.
That's a chance that you take, but I don't always believe that if they're going to remember you, they're going to remember you, okay? And if your competitor's site converts better than yours, you should probably find out why that is, and then make some changes in your own site. So, does that answer your question? Cool. Any other questions? No? We got another 10 minutes, so I can stand up here under the hot lights, or I'll get out of here. So, nothing? Nobody? No questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.